Hello everybody, Pedro here with CineMilled, and today we are going to be talking about our CineMilled gutter hooks and our CineMilled ratchet straps and how they should be an important part of safety of any vehicle rig that you build, especially ones that use suction cups. Let's get into it. So safety, that's what we're really talking about here today. A lot of you are, of course, familiar with ratchet straps, have a million and one uses at home and on set. And what some of you may not be so familiar with is something called the gutter hook that we have right here. So the gutter hook is very simply put, it's a piece of webbing with a D-ring on one side, and then something we call a flat hook on the other. In the case of the CineMilled gutter hook, the flat hook is rubber dipped. It's more of a hard plastic, and this is just trying to, attenuate any sort of potential scratches you may want to avoid when using the flat hook. Of course, we made the bend open, just open enough to where you can still line it with like some sort of foam or some duvetine if you're rigging on a car that's a lot more sensitive, that you want to be a lot more careful with. Why you need gutter hooks, why you want to use ratchet straps. Very simply, it's mainly because of safety. Any sort of rig that you're going to rig up on your car like we did here today, we use 2 suction cups here. You want to make sure that it's as safe as possible, not only for the gear, for the expensive gear that you're going to be rigging off of this, but more importantly, especially if you're on a lower budget production, like I know a lot of you guys out there are, and you have not locked up the roadway, the motorway. And this is important because as of recently, now that there's a lot more rigging being done by a lot wider group of people in the world, as filmmaking has become more democratized, let's say. A lot of people are filming on roadways that are not locked down, that are open to the public. And if you're using suction cups, even if you're using high quality suction cups like we make, that we sell, you still want to make sure you use the ratchet straps and the gutter hooks as a backup. So if you go on our Instagram feed and you go back on a few of our reels, you will see a very popular viral video that went viral on all the social media about a filmmaker that was had not our suction cups, but he had a filming camera rig on his car, and it came unstuck and it actually fell on the roadway and bounced down the road. So you do not want to become internet famous. And more importantly, you don't want to be responsible for somebody else's injuries. The very simple thing you can do to prevent that is simply securing a backup just in case the vacuum seal is lost and the suction cups stop working. So this is why the CineMilled gutter hook is so important, because it allows you to create an attachment point for the S-hooks on the bottom on your ratchet straps. So this ratchet strap end is what we call an S-hook, and there's a lot of problems in using a ratchet strap or an S-hook on a vehicle. The first of which, the way this is designed, there's not a lot of places you can attach, right? And even if you find an edge, which I'll show you in a few moments, the S-hook ends up putting undue pressure on certain points on the car. So we want to avoid as much as possible. First of all, it's very hard to find what we would call a purchase point on a vehicle with an S-hook. So this is where the gutter hooks come into play. So let me go over to the other side of the car and actually show you why they're so useful. All right, so first of all, why is it called a gutter hook? Really simply, older cars like this one used to have a drip rail, what some people called gutters. And this was used in the past as a way to hook onto those gutters People used to put roof racks on here. They used to use things like this, flat hooks, in order to strap down like a canoe or something. So that's where the name of the product comes from, is from the fact that it is used on gutters. Okay, but now that we're past that, as you can see, it's a flat hook that can easily slide into and squeeze itself in between any sort of body seam. And more importantly, the flat hook gives you a wide point to distribute the load, and also it grabs onto any edge you can find. So let me show you a few options on how it can grab onto edges. All right, so let's move this out of the way. Let's say you got a suction cup right there. You have a strap right there, and you're gonna wanna safety this suction cup. Like I was saying, this is a very bad idea. It's not a very good way to secure it. So enter the gutter hook. That snaps in right there. You can take your ratchet strap now, your S hook, and connect it there. And there you go. We just created a point for you to use your ratchet straps. So just look for any edge right there, you see? If we're going this way, it grabs that edge right there. Let's hear down the C-pillar of this car. Instead of doing that, which doesn't grab, we can grab the edge of the bodywork right there. Boom, look at that, right? So you can take the flat hook and slide it right in the body seam. Enough room, you can see you can even slide it up and down and position it. And then, as usual, that gives you a place to attach your ratchet strap. But right there, like the bottom of the vehicle, the bottom edge. The other very common place would be wheel arches. Same thing, you can easily grab the lip of the wheel arch, and there you go, you just made yourself an attachment point. All right, so I'm gonna show you a very common setup, which in my case here is gonna be for the trunk, but could easily be the hood, right? And I'm gonna show you a little trick and a feature of our ratchet strap. So right here, you can see here the curvature of the trunk. It could be the hood also. I'm gonna grab onto the seam right there, right? Could also be the one down by the wheel well. So, you know, what happens, so first of all, our ratchet strap, we have a sewn in sort of webbing material there, exactly to sort of help you prevent scratches from the hardware. So all rubber coated hardware as well, right? So let's say you're gonna connect that right there, and you're afraid of scratching that like that, or in a lot of other ways. One of the tricks I have is you can buy foam, or you can take a yoga mat from your local sports store and cut it up into strips like this, and I'll stick that right in between, and that's how I protect. You know, some people use Duvetine. I like yoga mat. It's squishy. It just provides some, vibration absorption, but mostly I feel like it does the best job of protecting the finish of the vehicle. And so that's how we can create an attachment point right there, right? All right, so let's go ahead and safety this rig I built. We got a 10-inch CineMilled suction cup, and then we got a 6-inch CineMilled suction cup right there on the other side. We got a carbon fiber CineMilled speed rail connecting the two together. And curious there, you see I'm going from a speed rail to a baby pin. That's because we're using our CineMilled Houdini clamp that you can mix and match the sizes. So we can actually go from speed rail to a 5/8 baby pin, for example. Very useful, very useful. So, all right, so now that we rigged it up, we pumped up our suction cup, let's safety our suction cup. And so, of course, we're gonna start with a gutter hook and a CineMilled ratchet strap. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take the ratchet strap apart. So I'm just gonna open it up and separate the two pieces. If you're lucky enough to be using CineMilled suction cups on your rig, all of our suction cups have ratchet strap safety slots. So this allows you to thread in the ratchet strap, and it gives you an easy way for the ratchet to pull down on that suction cup. And even if it loses suction, it's going to hold that suction cup onto the vehicle, right? But to do that, it needs to be properly anchored. So what we're gonna do here now is we're gonna take the open end of the ratchet strap and feed it through, and then we're gonna feed it through the other side. There we go. We're gonna take that and we're gonna throw that to the other side right there. All right, and so there we go, right? And we're gonna take our CineMilled gutter hook. We're gonna find a corner right there. I could stick a little piece of cardboard. I could put a little piece of duvetine, a little piece of yoga mat to safety the finish of the car. In this case, it's my race car. I don't really care about it in that way. There you go. And then you just connect your ratchet strap right there. Boom. And now I'm going to go over to the other side and use a second gutter hook and do the same thing on the other side with the ratchet portion of the ratchet strap. Now, I'm going to tug on the excess right there, make sure take out all the slack. Now, it's probably a good time to cover a little bit, some basics of ratchet strap use. Now, there's a couple schools of thought about how to use these. Personally, for all my years, this is how I feel they should be used. So you flay it open like that, feed it through, pull all the excess, right? Untwist it so you have a straight ratchet, and then you connect your gutter hook right there, hold it together, and pull on it to maintain the pressure on the gutter hook so it doesn't fall off. This is where it's nice to have a helper. They can actually hold it in place. But then you simply start ratcheting, right? And wait until it actually starts to pull down on everything. There we go. Now, what I want you to notice is as I ratchet this, you're going to see that suction cup actually move inwards a little bit. You see that? Now, this is an important part to stop and talk about common sense. Ratchet straps offer you a mechanical advantage, right? So it's very easy for you to if you're just going to keep cranking away, you're going to dent the car you're using. You may break the glass that you're pushing, because at this point now we're pushing down on the suction cup. So you may break the glass. More importantly, you may dent the vehicle. So remember, the ratchet straps are not holding the rig onto the vehicle. They are simply there to sort of keep the whole thing from falling off and hitting the roadway, right? Ideally. Now, do they also sort of provide a little bit of pressure in order to help maintain the seal? Yes. So it's a very good in that aspect also, because it does provide a little bit of pressure, downward pressure, to keep that seal nice and tight. So use common sense. Don't just keep ratcheting until it won't move anymore. Once you feel like it's taut, right? It's putting a lot of pressure. Stop, right? And then you can close the ratchet, and there's a lot of tricks on how to stow the excess. Now, the CineMilled ratchet straps are 8 feet long. You can choose to cut them down, just burn it with the cigarette lighter to keep it from flaying, or you can keep the 8 feet length and as a way to give you more room to ratchet things together. Now that we've secured the big 10-inch suction cup, we're going to secure the suction cup on the roof. As you can see here, this actually brings up a really good point, which is which side do you put the ratchet strap on? So the gutter hook is going to eat up some space, and then so is the whole ratchet mechanism. So if you put that always on the side that you have more space, which in that case is that side. On this side, we're going to put the side without the ratchet strap on it. So there you go. So in this case, I'm going to have to do this because we're so close to the edge. And then, whoops, I'm still going to feed it through the safety slot right there. All There we go. So we're going through the safety slot on that side, right? All right, as you can see there, we got our yoga mat, we got our gutter hook, we got the ratchet strap. You can see here the sewn in pad that we have. So you can see here the sewn in pad, the protection pad, the cloth pad that we have under our CineMilled ratchet strap. And then all you have to do is, we got the excess here, just gather up the excess. People have lots of different tricks on what to do with the excess. We give you 8 feet of webbing to do with it what you want. And there's lots of little tricks. I kind of do something like this sometimes. Anyways, you can tie it off, you can do all sorts of different things. So that's pretty much it. Now we have here 2 suction cup rig, very secure, and more importantly, safety to our vehicle. This is a race car. It can go really fast. We don't have to worry about anything flying off of the vehicle. So that's pretty much it. That covers the CineMilled ratchet strap and our CineMilled gutter hooks, which are a key piece to finalizing any rig that you do on any vehicle, especially the ones that include suction cups, but it's not limited to that, you know. You will find a lot of other uses in your daily weekend life for the gutter hooks. Also, like I said, strapping down canoes, 2x4s when you go to your home building store, home supply store. So there's a lot of other things you can use the gutter hooks for besides safetying your rigs, but it is cheap insurance to make sure that you work properly when you build your rig. All right, guys, if you have any questions, if you have any tips that you want to share with us about using ratchet straps or gutter hooks or anything like that, like I said, I use the yoga mat to protect the paint on the vehicles, but I know from experience there's a lot of different things people do. So put them in the comments below. Make sure to like and follow us on our YouTube channel as well as Instagram, because we are working on a couple of really cool new things that we'll be releasing this year in our vehicle line of vehicle rigging. So coming up soon, we'll have some more cool products. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next one.